Ryan.
Oh, we got a video now. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a great room. Well done. I'm sorry for the folks that we see the back of your head. Sorry about that.
Ryan, do you want to try that? You should be able to.
How we doing over there?
Okay, at 5:10 we'll start the meeting. We do have five members present, or correct present, so we do have a quorum. Audio and video recorders will be in use. I don't see anyone who will be up here, but if you want to address, any member can sign the sheet to address at the end of this presentation. Our new business today is a presentation over the Sage software. Jeff?
Yes, so, I think they're trying, I think they're adding that. So while we're doing that, I'll introduce Ryan Butzer with Cargus. He's going to be leading the demo. I'll let him introduce his team. I can't do the names here. And then Ryan, we have in the room today, we have all of our board members plus some staff. I guess it may be helpful to go around the room, quick introduction so you know who the heck you're talking to. I'm Jeff Krigler, the CEO. We'll go this way. Carmen, you go next. Yeah, who are you?
Hi, I'm Carmen Reynolds, and I've been appointed secretary to the board. Yay.
Ken Ingram, board president.
Barbara Darwin, director of finance.
Casey Hayes, junior accountant.
Will Dunaway, council.
Mark Miller, board member.
Donald Nell, board member.
Stephanie Lindsay, board member.
Ron, it's good to see you guys from Rayburn.
Hey, Drew.
Then we have Emerald here. All right. Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, all right. You guys okay if I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Let me know.
We can't hear you that well.
All right, I'll do my best to project. How about now?
Yeah.
Something changed in your audio because you were louder when you started.
I haven't changed anything, but I can. Is it any better now? Talking about as loud as I can.
Ryan, you've sounded the same to me this whole
Okay,
time.
so can you guys hear Lauren any better?
It's not.
Stop picking up on the mic.
It's the big.
Right now, okay.
Also for edification, we don't have anything to say. How did you say?
Yeah, the software is Sage. Cargus is the implementation consultant.
Yep. Any better now if I talk?
No, it's not better.
Not you. You got.
Semi-correct to say target, the reseller?
They're a reseller and the implementation team. So if you go to Sage Direct, will sell you the software, and then you have to get another vendor to do it. And then, what's great about Cargas being the first contact is they're selling the software also. So instead of dealing with Sage and the implementer, you're able to deal with one person. So we recommend that because the implementer is doing all the work, and you don't want them being a middleman. So
Well said, Drew. Well said, if you can hear me.
Right. You just did our job.
yeah, I know. So I did it pretty good.
You guys let us know
One
if
thing involved
you
we're dealing
need
with sound
just the audio here.
all the software we deal with, it's the implementation is either the good part or good part. You know, software is even if you're getting something good. So we've worked so bring that up in any of the sales pitches, the implementation for the road.
Our IT staff is looking into the volume issue.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, no. It's all the email.
Did you guys get sound that way, or is it only this TV that you heard? You
I
heard,
heard it coming low off the TV. I don't know.
I was just gonna say that's the.
So they're fixing.
Right, we're gonna if it doesn't.
Johnny's computer.
Okay. Cool.
They're both.
They're in the other room. What? In the IT room.
They're fixing.
Yes. They're fixing.
Faces I saw or across.
No, the two IT staff.
Yeah, they just do
It's
it
for presentation purposes, they're just right over.
That would be a first.
That's how.
You know where they are?
No. Our IT is Johnny is at his house
Oh, no,
on the
the-
computer, first control room on site, and then Cargus, I don't know where.
They're in northeast.
They're based out of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
the staff where they're located right now.
Did it freeze?
I can tell you all about the IT.
Oh, it did that too?
What song?
Choose the correct speakers. Ryan, can you hear us? Yeah.
Yeah, they're fixing it. We're off the screen, so I was wondering if the whole meeting went away.
We won't touch anything.
I'm not touching anything. Going right into troubleshooting mode to just start poking at stuff.
We are.
technology, been doing technology for about a decade. So I would say I'm kind of the one that translates the accounting workflows into the technologies. So in this instance, it's Sage Intact. So with that, I will pass it over to Lauren.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I am Lauren Dissinger. I have been with Cargus for 11 years now. Originally, when I joined the team, it was implementing Sage Intact. So I've implemented the system for our customers, and then I supported it after they went live. Prior to that, my background was public accounting. So that's where I earned my CPA. And then we built out both the new sales team, which is the team that helps bring customers into Cargus, as well as our customer experience team. And we'll talk about them in a little bit, but that's after you go live on the system. You'll have lots of contacts still at Cargus who want to make sure that you have a long-term success. I also wanted to highlight the fact that I sit in the same seat that you guys do. So I am an elected board member for Cargus. We'll talk about our structure here in a little bit, but I'm one of the board members of our organization here. And I'm also part of a 9-member board of directors for a local organization called the Strasburg Railroad. They are a C Corp here in the area. And so they actually are in the middle of a failed systems implementation. And so I can speak a little bit about what that experience has been like for them and how they're trying to recover or move into a new system. So it's been interesting to sit in your seat and also observe it from the outside. And I've served on a variety of boards in the past, both advisory, finance, and just municipal commissions, some other things as well. Okay, I'm going to take the first 4 slides here. And the goal is to help you all just be familiar of who Cargus is. I heard Drew give us a little introduction while we were getting everything set up. But Cargus system is based here in Lancaster County. We've been around since 1988. We were formed right there, you'll see in the corner of Chip Cargus's bedroom. And he started the organization with the idea that he wanted to help companies use technology to make their businesses more efficient. And that was really the whole premise of the organization. He didn't know much other than that, other than to get started. And so after a couple of years, he picked up a product called Great Plains. And we were a Great Plains reseller for many years until Microsoft acquired the product. And we are still a Microsoft product today. So we still have customers on Microsoft Dynamics GP. A few years after Microsoft acquired, we made a decision as an organization that we wanted to be around forever. So very popular in our space is for partners to be acquired by private equity groups. There's a lot of PE money in our space, and they come in and they're really just focused on getting margins and making as much money as they can, and then they move on. And we decided as an organization we didn't want that. We wanted to be around for as many generations as we could be. So Chip sold his stock back to the rest of us. We are an employee-owned organization, which we'll talk about in a minute. And our whole idea is that we are built to last. We are built forever. Part of that is that we are founded really on innovation, and we will also discuss that. We created a product for the home heating oil and propane, the fuel delivery space. As Ryan said, utilities and energy is a specialty of his. And so we have operational software that if you see the bobtails out delivering propane and heating oil, for you guys, it's usually for pools, whereas up here in the Northeast, it's to get through the winter. But they use operational software and it's integrated into Sage Intact. So half of our business is Cargus Energy and the half does software like Sage Intact. And we partner with great brands, and Sage Intact is our most important brand that we currently represent. So as I mentioned earlier, we became an organization that wanted to be built to last. And so we decided our purpose was really around shared success. And so everything we do at Cargus is through the lens of sharing success with these 5 constituents. So whenever we look at bringing a new customer into our community or how to handle opportunities moving forward, we look at it as how can we share success with as many people as possible. So we think that if our employees and our customers are successful, that will then pay off for owners, partners, and our community. So as I mentioned, we're based here in Lancaster, PA, nestled right in between Philly and Harrisburg. And we give 5% of our profits back to Lancaster every year. So as I said earlier, the board of directors sits atop our organization. And so even though we are employee owned, we are not an ESOP. We have direct ownership in the organization. And why that should be important to you is you're actually right now talking to 3 owners in Cargis. So the 3 of us have written checks out of our own checkbook and gotten stock certificates in response. And what that means is that not one person at Cargis is commission-based. So we all want to see the long-term success of our customers because that's what makes Cargis successful and be built to last. So shareholders sit above all of this, obviously, and then we have a board of directors. We currently have 5 external board of directors and 5 internal board of directors. We elect to 3-year terms, and I'm currently one of the 5 internal board of directors that are serving on the board. That sits over top of our CEO and president, Nate Scott, and then our organization is structured into 2 business units. And the business unit you're talking to right now is our Enterprise Solutions business unit. That's where we represent ERP products, CRM products, and we also have a whole team here that can do custom solutions for our teams as well, meaning integrations usually for our customers. And then running through our entire organization is an innovation advisory team. So just like we innovated and came up with the Cargis Energy Operational System, we are constantly looking at ways to evolve and provide solutions to our customers to make them successful. As you can imagine, we cannot go through a day without someone asking us about data or AI right now.
So one of the things we want to point out is our experience level. So again, we've been a partner with Sage Intech for a long time, and in that experience, we work with a lot of organizations like yours. So Holton Water comes to mind, Rainbow Municipality out in California is one I'm working with right now. So Eastern Utilities. So a lot of organizations that are like yours, and we want to make sure that we share that success that we've had with those customers and those experiences. So when you're going through implementation, you're going to see a lot of things around sharing best practices, what other organizations are doing that are like yours, or even the ones that aren't like yours that maybe have some similar needs around reporting or the workflows. So making sure our team of implementers who are all locally based here, we don't outsource to other countries and things like that, it's all locally based here, you work with just Cargis, and they're all former CPAs, controllers, CFOs, accountants that no longer want to work in the direct accounting space. They want to help organizations like yours build up their organization and help them through that process. So we've done a ton of implementations. There are different products, Sage being our main one there. And what I wanted to point out as well is, Drew mentioned a little bit about this, but we work a lot in this space and with a lot of partners that you are looking at as well. So there are direct integrations with Lumen and CUSI. I work with them a lot, have great relationships with those organizations and the people there in the software, and we've seen that overall ecosystem work really well. So as part of the project, we know that accounting is going in first, and that's kind of the cornerstone of everything. We know obviously there's other pieces of the puzzle that have super dramatic impacts on your data use as well as your customer base and how they're going to be using it. So we're happy to coordinate with them and work with them a lot. And we have a good solution that's worked out well for a lot of our partners and customers as well. So just kind of want to point that out there, that there's direct connections. This is not something that we're doing for the first time. From a kind of proof of concept model, this is something other organizations have used and making sure that it works really well for them. Okay. All right, back to you, Lauren.
Yep. So what do we want to take away from all of this that we just shared with you over the last few minutes? Why do companies partner with Cargis? First and foremost is our customer care. 90% of our employees are owners in our company. So you're getting a different level of customer care because we want our customers to be happy. It all goes back to that shared success. Teamwork and employee ownership, as well as that customer care, are the 3 core values that we talk about the most at Cargis. And so just like you see the 3 of us on here, we are constantly working within teams. So you have a team here on the sales side, you'd have a team working through implementation, and then you'd have an evolved team that is going to support you even after you go live on the system. So there's never just one point of contact. You always have every person along the way you get to collect, and it's part of your Cargis team. And finally, that shared success that we've already talked about, the purpose that is leads with everything that we do. And we really believe that if our customers are not successful, we as an organization won't be successful. And so we lead with that being our purpose as an organization.
Awesome.
Pause. That was a lot of words from us. Drew, around the table, what questions are there about Cargus?
Any questions on the Cargas organization? No. Can you hear us, by the way?
We
I can hear you a little bit, yep.
They fixed it. Okay, good. They're good to go.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so let's get into the meat a little bit. You've heard at a high level who our organization is, but what would it feel like to actually be one of our customers? So this is what our customer journey currently looks like. Right now, you're sitting actually below level 1, but eventually one day we would love to celebrate level 1 with you. And you're going through the selection, and hopefully one day we'll be signing to move forward. Once that's done, you move into implementation, and the next slide goes into some more details around the implementation of Sage Intacct and what that looks like. Once you implement, we pick a go live date, and you're live on the system, and we do a big celebration because all the hard work is done. Just kidding. Some of the hard work is done, but continuing to use the system is also, will still be a challenge, and we're working alongside of you. And that's why you see all of these other touch points afterwards, because even though you've gone live on the system, Cargus does not disappear. We do not feel like our job is done just because we've flipped the switch and you're now using it. We go through a project close meeting where you give us feedback and we talk about what might still be open, or what did your team get really excited about throughout the project and you want to do in future phases. And so that is part of that project close there. That's the kickoff of our evolve phase.
And Lauren, I just want to throw in there one little piece of the puzzle is, we talked a little bit about sharing best practices, but one of the things during implementation, kind of this setup and training, is really understanding your requirements and what, and Lauren mentioned it kind of, what some pain points, what things you're excited about. And one of the areas I know your team is super excited about is kind of that month-end close process. So that's going to be one of our driving factors as we go through and what we consider what we call key success criteria. So when you're done with a project or even 6 months, a year down the road, these are things that you were trying to focus on, and why did we do this project? What are some of the things we were trying to accomplish? Were we able to do that? And if so, why? If not, well, how can we get there? So knowing that close management is one of those things, there's a lot of great tools within Sage Intacct around bank reconciliations and checklists for close. There's even some new AI tools for automating some close. So there's a lot of great things that we're going to be able to bring to the table when it comes to that. And that's one of those areas that we're going to focus on in those first phases of implementation to understand those requirements, those needs, and build that process out.
I'm going to take a second to brag on one of our customers. So Sage just had their big customer conference out in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago, and one of our customers was able to be featured for the close automation. So the AI tool that Ryan just talked about is out. It is able to be used. And her team told the story of how it's helping them save 120 hours a month on the month-end close. So between her 4 teammates, they have over 30 entities, so it's a lot of work. But we're seeing very tangible results, real results. Sometimes when people say AI, it feels very hand-wavy and you don't know what that means. But our customer was able to actually give us a figure of 120 hours a month that they're saving in their month-end close process. So anyway, so after we go live, we do a 60-day check-in. And so we're going to check in after 60 days. How's it going? How's everyone feeling? And we're setting up reoccurring meetings, which you'll see here in a minute. And you will be getting educational material from us all throughout the year. You'll be getting newsletters. We do two newsletters quarterly, monthly office hours, which are educational, and we'll also bring ISV partners to those in case you needed to round out your system. And we're always sending out NPS and CSAT surveys throughout the year to try and collect our customers' feedback along the way. We talked about that reoccurring calls. We have some customers who say, actually, just tell us when something exciting happens. It doesn't have to be reoccurring.
Can we ask a question? Go ahead.
Yes. Yep.
I'm Drew, it's fine.
Drew. Yeah. Well, so while I got this screen up there, I'm curious, how What's the time period between selection and go live?
Oh,
You said
good question. Yep. It varies per customer based off of the complexity that they are rolling out. Ryan, do you have off the top of your head?
Well, right now, our plan was for September 1st, if things go smoothly. Again, it could be October if we need to, or, but right now, based on the agreement we have, it would be September 1st.
September 1st?
Yeah, September.
That's based on a selection today?
Again, this month, yes.
Okay.
Because that, again, based on the timeline and the incentives we have in front of the table, originally they had in April, we got approval to move those to May. So that would put us in a, basically a 3-month timeline.
All right, thanks.
And
Good question.
how did we arrive at that timeline?
So typically we go by hours available in terms of the project. So we scope out the project and understand how long it's going to take, when you're able to start a project and what things go into having the resources available to do that. And based on that timeline, September 1st is what we worked out.
I would say 12 to 16 months is what most of our customers do.
Weeks.
Weeks, sorry, 12 to 16 weeks is what most of our customers do. Thank you, Ryan. Important differentiation.
But again, those go live dates and that concept is not a lock-in type period. The design, you're gonna have a project manager that's gonna make sure that the things you need to do and have happen as part of your daily lives happen. So if we need to, if it's the original goal is September and things come up and we need to move it to October, awesome. Or let's say let's make it October instead and things go really smoothly and we need to push up to September. That's great as well. You're not locked into that time frame. We just want to have a goal in mind so both teams are working towards the same end goal.
It sounds like we're gonna have some more questions around implementation. So Brian, let me just wrap this slide up really fast, and then the next slide is more detail around the implementation. So all this to say, if Holly Navarre thinks that there'd be value in having the reoccurring calls, we have some that have recurring calls monthly or quarterly, or like I said, they say on an ad hoc basis. We can set that up and work with the organization in the way that's most valuable. And then we have care plans available. We can talk about that later, but there are different support plans that are available for our customers to use. And in those, there are different services that are available for them. Okay, let's get into the implementation. All right, this is our tried and true. I always like to say this is our secret sauce, and this is what makes our project so successful at Cargus. And we have a very high success rate of implementations. Our projects are broken into 5 phases. And Ryan already started to touch on that first one, the define phase. Ryan, I don't know, did you want to go into some more detail here and explain to them the define phase anymore?
Yeah, again, I just knowing through the conversation with the team, there's a lot of help around reporting and make sure they're flexible and the reports are what you're looking for from a board standpoint, making sure they're timely as well. So a lot of those things, not only have we discussed and worked through during the sales process, and Sam has showed in demos, but also that's going to be documented and understood by the implementation team. So we want to make sure that all those things you're trying to get to, we do as part of that define phase. So Sage Intacct is not a software that we just hand to you and say, we built this, go use it. It is very much a collaborative effort throughout the entire process. So for example, if our project overall is, let's say, 200 hours, you can expect that your team's going to spend 200 hours as well over that time frame as well, making sure that we're working through workflows and everything comes to the same place. And you'll see as we get to these next phases how we make sure that things go smoothly and are successful.
Yep. So in that define phase, you'll have consultants and project managers that are meeting with your team to understand what are the challenges currently, what are the requirements of the system, and most importantly, what reports do you need to get out of the system? Because there are reports that you get today and you can't operate without. And in some cases, even more important, what reports can't you get out of your system today that you would love to be able to get out? And with that full picture, we'll move into the build phase. But it's not until we understand all those requirements that we move into building the system alongside of you. So you'll be meeting with your team here at Cargus, sometimes once a week, sometimes twice a week, to build a system together based off of the requirements that you gave us. This is really important because not only are we setting up the system with you, but we're also training you as we're going throughout. So we don't squirrel away and do a bunch of magic behind the scenes and just turn it over to you. We want to really empower you to be able to use this system moving forward in a daily basis. We are always there to catch you if you need us to, but we want you to be able to be sufficient on the system on a day-to-day operations and not need us to hold your hand throughout the day. Once the system is built, and that's what takes the longest amount of time, you're going to go into a testing phase, and we call this the model phase. And so there'll be test scripts that are written out that are your specific workflows. And during this, you're going to go through and test those work scripts and make sure you're getting the outcome that is expected. Yep, I ran that report and it looked exactly how it needed to. Yep, I did that bank reconciliation and got where I needed to be. Whatever your workflows are, we're testing that system. We're trying to break it, like it says up there on the screen. We want to be 100% confident in that system before we move into step 4. And step 4 is deploy. That's when we go live. And so at that point, we're going live alongside of you. We're available for you, especially on that first day, but really for that whole first week. And anything that might come up, we are there to help you solve those problems. We'll be doing any training during that time in case the team forgets or something new pops up that we weren't aware of. But we are going to be beside you. And I think what's really important is even your project does not end at go live. Your project actually lasts for another 6 weeks. So we don't think of go live as the end of the project because we're with you through all of your firsts. So first bank rec, first time they're running a board packet to share with you guys. Any of those firsts that happen within that first month you're on the system and usually a few weeks after, we are beside you doing all of that every step of the way. It's not until after that 6 weeks, and we really feel out a customer is 6 weeks feel good, and if it does, that's when you'll move into that project close meeting, like I mentioned earlier, and eventually then move into the evolve team.
Right, and one thing, it may not need said, but as you're going through these different phases, again, some things are iterative, but also, we're not doing that regardless of if you're ready or not. This is a collaborative experience, so if we're going through the model phase and something isn't working quite right, we don't say tough, we're going live anyway. That's not how the process works. So it is very much a collaborative effort there to make sure that everyone is on the same page. We're all in agreement. We have some great software that manages the project, a lot of great things around that. And our project managers are fantastic, and the implementers that we have are, you're gonna feel like they're part of your team when you're done. That's the kind of response I get from them is, after the projects are over, they kind of miss working with the team because they felt like they were a member of the organization as they're going through. So it's not something we just do and move through without you. Okay.
I was going to pause there to see if there were any questions around implementation specifically, or those phases.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
How does that land with your team? Is that what you would expect?
We got some questions.
Good.
Hopefully you can hear me.
We can.
Okay. Do you have out-of-the-box reports that are pre-configured and easy to use?
Yes.
Yep. Ryan, how many are still in Sage today?
It's 120 out of the box. We also have, again, the report writers, again, designed by accountants for accountants, but we also have some hours in the project to help build any custom reports related to just internal needs or the board needs. So there's hours there to help with that too, as well as training the team on how to build reports on their own. You don't need that, different than other systems. Again, I've used other ones, like I said, I've used NetSuite, and you had to hire outside contractors to build reports for you. Sage is not like that. It is a in-house only product. You don't need to hire anyone to build your reports for you. And Barbara, who's, I work with a lot, she's gonna have a lot of work on her plate in terms of, she's super excited about building reports, so I'm excited for her to have this tool for her.
But just to clarify, you do have a number of out-of-the-box reports.
You have another one?
Don't take it easy on us.
And has our team seen those out-of-the-box reports?
So
Is that
during the
Does this-
demos, can you hear us still or no?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, during the demos, when you were doing them here, you were showing reports that were out-of-the-box reports, right? There was nothing that you were showing them that was a customized piece. So it was out-of-the-box reports, and if Barbara and her team asked something about it, you were able to explain how to modify it. You would show them how to modify it so they could get the layout they needed.
Yeah,
Correct.
it was I did the demo, so I can 100% talk to that. And for the record, I'm not a coder, so I want to make that very clear. But what I showed them specifically was a P&L. It's out of the box, and I just went ahead and I clicked like 4 buttons, and I showed it to them while I was doing it to blow that out. I think I did it by department, and then I added in a budget, which again, all of that's out of the box, very easy, simple. They watched me do it.
Will you be able to show a couple of these things during this presentation?
Sure.
Yeah, as long as you guys have the time, I know we had a certain timeline, we got started a little late. If you have the time, we do.
Yeah, they definitely are, and I want feedback, but what I understand, you guys are definitely looking to see the product and some forms and some reports. That's the main thing that they're concerned about. So
Yep.
dive into showing some of the, high level. Again, I know it's a short time, but they want to see some of the basic functionality. I think definitely a picture's worth 1,000 words with what your stuff does.
I say Cargus team, let's just hop on over there, but Drew, while they're getting everything set up and switched over, will you confirm one more time in the room, the team feels comfortable with the implementation approach? If they had any questions, they've asked them. There's nothing, up in their heads over there that they're still worried about.
Board member I am, but I don't know if Barbara and her team.
Yes, yep. We're good on that.
Okay.
So, speaking of out of the box, I'm assuming you have out of the box workflows that can easily be implemented, and we'd like to see those as well.
Sounds good.
All right, Sam.
All right. So today, you guys can all hear me, correct? We good?
Yes.
Thumbs up? Cool. Today I kind of wanted to give you guys a quick look at some of the few areas that we think Sage Intact really shines for organizations like yours, things that they've seen. And rather than jumping through 100 different workflows, my goal is to kind of show you more of a connected story today. I'm going to start with an AP transaction, which is one of those simple things that they've seen. And then I'm going to follow that data through reporting and dashboards so you can see how the information flows through the system in real time. Along the way, I'm going to point out some things that your team, the Holly and our team, has learned. Things like dimensions, allocations, drill down reporting, dashboards, and visibility into business. And as well, always just stop me with any questions. It is a little hard to hear you, so if I keep talking, just like somebody yell at me. So let's start with something simple. So say we receive a phone or internet bill from AT&T, but instead of assigning that to one department, we want to expense automatically. They want that expense automatically allocated across departments so each team absorbs their portion. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to go to the accounts payable, and I'm going to hit this plus sign to add a new bill. Because we're working in a demo environment, I am just going to backdate this. I was married in 2018, so I always use 2018 as mine. So the vendor, as I said, is AT&T. And before I click this, I want you to just make sure you're watching the screen, because as I click it, you're going to see Sage Intact will automatically pull in information from a vendor database, a master record the team has seen. Things like payment terms, contact information, other defaults, they all just pull in, so you don't have to rekey it or look somewhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. So everything was pulled in. And then I could go in here, I can add an attachment. So say if I have a bill here, I can attach that. Then I can go down and I can tag my account. So for this one, we'll just tag to utilities. So let's just go ahead and type in the word utilities. And I said an $1,000 bill there. And then again, so throughout Intact, you'll hear us use the word dimensions here. So dimensions are essentially like an intelligent tag that we can apply to transactions. So instead of creating like an overly complicated chart of accounts, we can tag transactions by things like our location, or if I want department, I could go ahead and tag those. But for today, I wanted to show you what an allocation looks like so you can kind of get a feel for that. So I'm going to hit this button, and I'm going to show you this empty grid, and I promise you it's going to do something. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go to my allocations, and I'm gonna hit utilities. So I scroll back down to that SAP grid, it's now all filled out. So it automatically pulls in and allocated that expense across our departments based on allocation rules that we've defined. So during implementation, our team will help build out these rules. Think of them like templates based on how your business operates. So most clients start with a handful, things like utilities, insurance, rent, or any other shared corporate expenses. And then if those percentages or structures ever change, they're really easy. You can even go in and manually change them one-on-one if you want as well. So next, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna hit post. And then I always caveat here, because I'm in a demo environment and we're short on time today, I was gonna run through approval processes, but in a real world scenario, this could absolutely route through approval workflows before posting. And again, our team will help configure those during implementation as well. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hit post. We'll submit it. All right, so now that we've entered that transaction, I'm gonna follow it through the system and see how quickly just to show you how quickly that information becomes available from a reporting perspective. So we promised you we'd show you some reports. So here is the report center. Hit the button, didn't I? There it is. I don't know why it didn't work. There we go. Before we jump into reports, I always say this is a good place to kind of pause on one of the biggest differentiators of Intact. I know you guys kind of asked about the out-of-box reporting, and I'll say this probably at least one more time today, but Sage Intact really was built by accountants for accountants. So one of the areas that becomes very obvious is reporting. So the reporting functionality within Intact is incredibly powerful, but is still very, I would use the word approachable and user-friendly. So it's easy to build, filter, drill into, and personalize reports without needing any IT involvement, custom development, or, we hear about endless spreadsheets. And that really carries into how we approach implementations at Cargus as well. As Lauren said, our accountants are former controllers, CPAs, former CFOs who have actually lived these workflows before. So our goal is to not just configure the software, but really understand how your business operates. So again, we operate as a partner and an extension of your team instead of just simply implementing the software and disappearing afterwards. But with that said, let's jump into a report. So let's just go ahead and I know you guys asked me to show you what I showed them, so I'm gonna deviate from my demo a little bit. We're gonna go in here, and this is a profit loss basic. This is something right out of Intact. Now I'm gonna go ahead and edit, and as soon, I always use, I say 2018. We're gonna go up here, and I'm just gonna hit live report. So this just gives you, as you're building it, gives you an idea. So again, this is very basic. It's called profit and loss basic. But I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did with the Holly Bar team. And we're going to go over here, and we're just going to blow this out by departments. I want it to be a little bit bigger. 2 buttons, hit set, go here, preview, and I'm going to hit live report. So that was able to give us all of our departments as we needed. And then I promised you earlier that I would show you where that bill went. So say I do have this up, I want to see what's going on in marketing and then the utilities. Just click on the 750. Tried this a few times earlier just to make sure. But here, right here, this 250 is exactly what we did today. I can click into that, and I can even drill right into that bill. So I can go right in, and I have all of that information that I put in a few minutes ago. Try and talk fast. Hopefully I'm not going too fast here. But it had our vendor, it told me exactly who I paid, everything I put in today. I go up here to posting details, it'll kind of give me those allocations that I had and all of my entries. And again, if I had history, if I had my approvals on, it would tell me exactly who approved it and everything there. And that was directly from that report.
Yeah, so one of the goals here was to kind of show you not only just the out-of-box reporting, but I know, one of the comments from the board was around being able to allocate by department in different areas. And being able to show how easy it is. We didn't there's no custom pieces, this is all standard functionality. And it's easy to see, where the information came from. So you're not kind of hunting and pecking and trying to find something. The information is there and very visible and usable.
Yep, and then I did promise you the other thing I showed them was how to add a budget. So within Intact, it's really easy, you can just upload your CSV of your budget at any point, your spreadsheet of that, and it just goes into kind of a repository. But you could go in here and you could just change that to budget, and I just go here, hit live preview. Oh, I missed a step here. We're gonna expand by, this is what happens when I go off of. We're gonna expand by our departments. And then we'll go to preview and hit live.
And see the budget's on the left side there.
Yeah, I forgot to expand it by the departments, but they're, again, really simple, really easy. We can obviously customize this more, or if there's specific reports you're like, hey, I want it to look a specific way. That's something that we can do right out of, like during implementation or even after. But I know you said out of the box, so I wanted to make sure that you saw, didn't touch anything beyond a few clicks.
Sam, can you demonstrate on that sheet right there, the ability to drill into any of the actual numbers? Does that open up stuff? It's the blue.
And that's what she was saying, that's 750.
So if I were to like click into here, I could look into anything. So what I did earlier was I put in that AP bill earlier for our AT&T 519. I did 2018 again. But I just go ahead and click here. I can go the whole way into that bill and keep going. We can do that again if we have time to keep going with dashboards. I can do another drill. You can see that as well.
I'm good with that. I just wanted to clarify that you drilled in, the bill that you paid was $1,000, and what it did is it due to your pre-allocation amount that was set up for those types of bills, it split out that $1,000 and it allocated $250 to this GL here.
Yeah, to the marketing. Yep.
Yeah, and that's what that this was here. It's at 750 because there's more than that for the year. But again, you can just keep drilling. You just keep going until you hit that source bill.
So during this setup, that configuration of why that bill was broken up that way would be worked out with the utility. Barbara and her team would explain all those allocations. You guys would set all that up for them.
Yes.
Out of the gate of every existing process they do.
Right.
So that when you're done, they're not needing to set up additional stuff that is core to their basic current operation.
Right, and on top of that, we know that business things change over time. So if 6 months down the road, there's another allocation needs added, part of the implementation will be training Barbara how to do that, so she's really comfortable, and she'll even have recorded things on how it was done and documented how things are done. There's a help center for that. But as part of the evolve phase that Lauren was mentioning, she can reach out to our team and say, hey, I need help with this, and they say, great, let's get on it. And the nice part about it is we don't have a separate, different support team that works elsewhere that we have to reach out to and understand. The same team that did her implementation. So if she works with Jackie, Jackie's going to be available and say, oh, I remember your allocation. Let's go ahead and work on that. That person will be available as well if needed throughout the process.
Thank you.
Yep, good question.
How are we doing on time? I know we're over. Do we want to jump into maybe dashboards just to kind of see one really fast as I do it?
All right. I guess wrap it up in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes roughly.
5 minutes is perfect. I can definitely do this in, don't hold me to it, but maybe less. All right. So I told you I would say it again, so I'm just gonna hold to my promise. Sage Intacct was built by accountants for accountants, and again, really that comes down to the dashboards and reporting. So here is what we call and what I call the executive dashboard. It's meant to like surface high-level KPIs and trends across the organization. You can have an unlimited number of dashboards within the system, and this can be secured by role or user permissions. This is a question I get a lot. So if there are dashboards or components that you don't really want other people to see, or you only want leadership to see, that can obviously be locked down. And this is again just one example of a dashboard. You could have this sort of executive level dashboard. You could have like a controller level dashboard that maybe has ways to approve bills right in it, or even operational dashboards. These filters at the top make it really easy to filter it. So if I wanted to filter based on department item or a comp to, let's say, the Holland Bar entity, I could hit apply, and that would just immediately refresh. So on this one, it tells me my internet is unstable. On this one, we're seeing things like our total revenue, net income, salary and wages, operating expenses. But I know you guys are looking at a small screen, like a pretty small screen for how big the room is. So I just wanted to point out, if you do put in those budgets within it, you can also do comparison right on this dashboard. So that's really nice. So I know we drilled on the reports. I think drilling within dashboards is even cooler. So say I am an executive, this is my dashboard, and I'm looking at this, and I see this frowny face right here. So my G&A expense is not looking great, and I want to see what that looks like. I can go ahead and click it, zoom in. So this pulls up my G&A, which is my and it has my master budget versus my actual. I give it a quick look, and I always joke, somebody's probably in the room screaming, click on the 21,000. But this is looking a bit higher than we expected. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna click. I'm gonna drill into that to see what that is. So again, this 15,000 is really screaming at me. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna continue drilling in and see what that is. So it looks like we have, 15,000. So we're gonna continue to go in and we're gonna try to find that bill. So it looks like there was some sort of $15,000 company Christmas party this year that we were not expecting. So that was able to drill right into that bill from that dashboard. I can go in, I can look at the printed check. I can see exactly who we paid. I can go in and see the memo. I can see what this was tagged to, what dimensions was this on. So the sales team had a heck of a party. I can go in and I can see the posting details. And again, that history, who the heck approved a $15,000 Christmas party? So I can go in again and drill in right from that dashboard. So I promise, I think I said, I don't think I would hit 5 minutes, but I think that's probably a good enough on a dashboard. Do you guys have any questions for me while I have this up?
I do have one question for you. How many conversions from Edmunds to Sage have you done?
How many? Good question. I know we've done a few. We work with all kinds of different operational as well as accounting systems, and really the key part is not which one it is, what name is on it. It's the ability to export information out, like vendor lists and things like that. So we're not going in and touching your current system. That's not part of the process. To go in there and look at it. Obviously, you're kind of the experts in terms of using it. What we really need is just the data from it. So again, vendor lists and financial records, things like that. So we won't be touching or going into your actual systems.
I was looking more for customers that I could speak to on the ease of implementation of your software over the Edmunds.
Oh, that's pretty niche. I'll take a look and see if we have anything that is directly from that, and I may be using Intact, and that I can take a look. More along the lines of people are looking to see from a reference standpoint how the solution is working post implementation. That's one where they came from, because it could come from anywhere. It's really about how they're using the system now.
I think before we let the Targus folks jump off, I'd like just Drew to spend a few minutes just kind of telling us what he's done for us. You know, we employed Rayburn Consulting to help us with this process and look at products and make a recommendation. They've done that. They've got thoughts. So I think it'd be helpful if he just takes a few minutes to tell us kind of what you've done the last few months.
Yep. I'll jump in quick. You guys ask questions, but I will be conscious of your time because I know we're running late. Rayburn is involved in utilities all over the country to help the selection and then the implementation. We basically deal with the painful part of it. We deal with, and Cargas is on the call, they'll have to deal with it. We deal with cutting through the sales pitch and showing what needs to be done. I think the staff here saw a lot of that during the demos where the answer was yes, and then it was like, please show us, because yes might mean click right here, or it might mean 3 clicks, open up a new one and do your password. So there's a different meaning of the word yes for the actual use case. We are currently involved in the largest AMI meter project in the history of the United States at Miami-Dade, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking the Oracle systems and the different AMI systems and all of the stuff that they do and make it work right and make sure that that utility with their 1,000 employees is able to not deal with a painful aftermath. That's what we do. What we've done here is we came in here in August and worked here for several days, and then follow up. We went through the processes of your accounting systems, met with the folks from the golf course, right? And went through the billing process, your customer service, your AMI, your operations, your inventory, how your purchasing is done, and we mapped all that out and looked for basically the pain points. Sometimes we're brought in, people are like, is the system good and we're not using it right, or is the system not good? What we saw here, and I know it's recorded, so don't usually say a lot of this out loud, so I'll be careful what I say, but I will not say anything that I don't feel is real. The organization here and the folks that we met with at this facility are phenomenal. We deal with a lot of utilities, and we have made reference to them. What we were astonished at is the current operation of their ERP system and the workarounds that were being done by the staff to actually do what we would consider the basic financial reporting they need to be done. Kudos to them, because we watched them and they had to show us how they were doing it. What you just witnessed in the drill downs and the reporting, and Barbara, I won't speak for you, but correct if I'm wrong, you got to be sitting there going, this isn't even real, because it's the processes that your current system is we saw reports that were wrong. We got to, again, I'll be careful how deep I go, but they weren't matching. So, and then as we went through these demo processes of, Sage is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cargas, but I believe you guys are Sage is the only accounting software that is accredited by the American Institute of CPAs. Right?
100%. Well said.
So on the accounting side, every demo we've been a part of, some are with Cargas, some are directly with Sage, and some are with their competitors. There's never been a demo where the staff that is dealing with a current system that is less than desirable for the operations not be like hit at Disney. So we went through that process. We issued a report. I hope you guys were able to see that. We did an analysis of the current ERP system that touches on your accounting, your work orders, and your operations to a degree, and your utility billing and customer service. And we made suggestions on the systems that were looked at, how the staff interacted with those demos, the questions, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier, implementation can be very painful on the staff if it's not done well. The folks that are doing the demo is the team that would do it. It's a unique situation for us. Not many of the software implementations are done this seamlessly like they do. So we went through all your processes, we made recommendations, we saw inefficiencies that you guys are dealing with internally on your current software that was, I would easily say, on the accounting side for your speed and efficiency. Again, Barbara, correct me if you think I'm over exaggerating, but I have to say that you guys have a drag of about 30 to 40% efficiency with the way you are doing this, which is staggering. So the ability to greatly enhance the operations, specifically in the financial department, is a change. We did look at another software. There were some preliminary other ones. Not only was this Sage more comfortable with the staff and the operations, but the implementation team and the sales team also left a lasting impression, not only on the staff, but us as the people who help during these implementations. Rayburn makes the clarifications in the contract negotiations. We help during the implementation, and we help post-app implementation. So whatever we are a part of, we own that through the process. And our goal is to make friends with the utilities we work at. Cargas is on the call, so I'm going to say this anyways. Their comment about implementation teams being friendly with your staff, I've seen Christmas cards 2 years later. They really get involved. Their lack of change orders, and you know, Cargas does know our position on change orders. We don't like surprises. We haven't seen one from them yet. So their quoted price is fair. Their timeline, which they quoted, is based on their budget hours, their experience, and the staff being available. So Barbara, if you took a month off because you want a trip to the Caribbean, that's going to delay that implementation. If not, they're pretty much on track or target of doing that, unless the staff is uncomfortable for the go live. We've seen people just, maybe there's an audit going on or something going on in the organization that everybody's like, can we just push this? No problem. A little bit of a refresher, then you close out, and then they hold your hand accordingly. So that's what we saw. Again, probably one of the best run utilities we work with. Part of that is your autonomy as a district. But the staff that we met with here, very impressive. We work with utilities from 250 that you can't go near them during hunting season. That's bow and shotgun. And as large as, again, Miami-Dade. So we see the gamut. Every department we work with here, the software changes that are being suggested are 100% bullseye that will make you guys more efficient in the short term and the long term. So that's a lot out of me. Spent a lot of time on this project. Spent a lot of time in the different demos. I would say that you guys did, in some cases, twice the amount of demos that we normally do to get your comfort level. So.
Thanks, appreciate it. Quick question. Did I hear, what I think I heard was Sage is predominantly what you and Cargas mostly recommend for utilities. Wind up recommending for the utility.
Only districts. So 95% of our work is municipal. So for example, you know, the local cities don't, you know, up here, Panama City, they have a utility billing module, and then they're on an accounting system for taxes and everything else. And the majority of that is Tyler Systems, Munis, New World. We deal with a tremendous amount of that also.
Part of the reason there is the cities don't have to produce those financial statements like we do every month.
No.
It's completely different reporting.
Yeah, and Munis, just so you know, is not Sage in the sense of the municipalities don't have the freedom to choose their own accounting system. So on a district, if you guys were 5,000, maybe 8,000 accounts and didn't have the multiple business structure, you could get away with QuickBooks. And we've seen that. The sophistication that you guys have here is, I mean, that would, no way. But we've seen and worked with utilities that are 5,000, 7,000, QuickBooks is enough. When you go beyond that, our experience and pain points are, it's Sage. CarGas is an implement. So if you had directly gone to Sage, you would go find an implementer. There's a few other ones. And again, CarGas, you guys are gonna have to speak up if I'm saying it wrong. You guys implement the Microsoft accounting package, correct?
Yeah, we work with Microsoft Business Central as well as Acumatica.
Yeah. Who do you guys use for CarGas?
Sage and Tech.
So their organization uses Sage. And so, because we've done the due diligence extensively on what works for the utility beyond the sales pitch, and Sage wins all the time. Very few products are as clear a winner as Sage on accounting. It's more of a selection in the billing systems and the asset management system, but you'd be really hard pressed to. Well, I'm not an accountant. The Accountants Association is the only one they do, and after working with them, we see that.
Any other questions, board?
Thank you.
Thank you, Drew, and thank you, Cargus.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. We really appreciate meeting everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.